We currently are living in a generation where the buying power has grown endlessly, where having more means being richer, means being cooler and therefore more flex on social media. I've been growing into an environment at high school where having the latest brands was being part of the cool kid, where showing off these brands was seen as attractive, and where having more meant being better. And now that I realize it, well, it is pure bullshit. I hopefully have outgrown this phase of addiction to buying things, and the only possible reason that helped me outgrowing all of this was to change country. As I started minimalism a couple of months ago, I quickly started to notice a couple of things that I do not buy anymore as a minimalist. Number one, fast fashion. As I mentioned in this small introduction, there used to be a very high social pressure when it came to these brands. Having the latest t-shirts from these very expensive brands was the only way to look attractive, and having the latest designer shoes was a life necessity. I hopefully have my parents who are grounded people and who would not fall for these things and pay for these ridiculous cravings of mine, but I unfortunately was way too determined for this. And I remember this one time where I decided to work a full month after high school as a summer job to basically spend all of my salary on Balenciaga shoes. Wow. It sounds even more ridiculous than it is. Minimalism clearly helped me opening my eyes when it comes to fast fashion. I realized that every single year, each collection changes. And the one that you probably spent a couple of bucks on last year will probably not look good for the following ones. Now, I do not recommend anyone to stupidly follow minimalism and to wear the same t-shirt every single day. I do not do that. I like fashion a lot and I like to buy some new clothes, sometimes 2 times. But I have one rule in my mind when it comes to these things. One in, one out. Which means that every time I want to buy a new piece of clothes, whatever it is, it can be a t-shirt or a pair of jeans, but then I need to donate one from my current closet. And I found this to be the best way for me to not accumulate clothes in a useless way. Quitting fast fashion meant 2 things for me. It first meant saving money, and sometimes a lot of money. But it also means being in control, because it is true that sometimes you deal with higher quality products, but for most expensive brands, well, you simply are buying the brand. And it is the brand controlling you, which really does not fit with what minimalism is all about. Number 2, the just-in-case product. I used to be this type of person who would be scared to miss stuff at one point. It probably is because of my grandma, who used to give me way too much food or too much candies just in case I would get hungry. And I started to apply this when it came to buying things. It turns out that you get very easily addicted to this kind of habit. And the worst thing about this is that nowadays you can enter some stores and you will be offered very attractive and decent quality items at crushing prices, which surely makes the just-in-case buy way easier. I ended up having at home plenty of items that I cannot remember using nor needing at any point of my life. 3 different shakers that I probably bought just in case one was dirty. Multiple notebooks, just in case I really needed one straight after I finished the first one. Or having 2 yoga mats, in case I wanted to get a workout in for the day with more style. No, I'm just kidding. This is mine and the second one is my girlfriend's mat. But you got the point, right? Once you get rid of this small anxiety of what if I need this but I do not have it, then you start to realize a huge decrease in the amount of items that you buy per year or per month. And you surely shouldn't have any stress about these kind of things, because if one day you do need something that you did not buy because you were mentally strong enough, then you can simply order it off Amazon and it will come to your door in 2 days. Number 3, multiple versions of the same item. As we talked previously with the shakes and the notebooks, we can also talk about something that humans seem to find absolutely normal, but that is in reality more than ridiculous. And it is having the same item multiple times. I have a very toxic love for my routine, and especially for my mugs. I simply love mugs. I find them absolutely beautiful and attractive, and depending on what I am drinking my coffee from, the beverage will surely taste more or less good. And as you can see, I have quite of a decent amount of mugs in my cabinet. But while this is nothing compared to what I would have if I wouldn't fight my mind every single time I walk next to the mug session in a shop. I realized that having the same product in multiple editions just bring clutter and friction to your life. It is extremely easy to drink your cup of coffee in the morning and to wash it up straight away in order to use it later for a cup of tea or for the next day. And therefore having multiple cups just doesn't make sense anymore. Of course, for mugs, for example, it is quite important to have at least 2 of them, just in case you're living with your beloved partner or that your parents or friends come over. You surely don't want to make a fool out of yourself and to serve them coffee in any other type of recipient. Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh yeah, it's very great to see you too. Yeah. Oh, can I get you something? Water, cup of tea, a cup of coffee maybe. Oh yeah, well, a cup of coffee would be amazing. Oh, thank you very much. Number 4, cravings for a day. I have a very precious love for phone cases, and it turns out to be a very expensive love at one point. I used to honestly buy dozens of phone cases every single year, and I wouldn't feel guilty about it at all. In the city where I live, there are a lot of phone accessories and cases stores, which surely makes it even harder to resist the urge to buy a new phone case. I would basically buy a new case when my mood would switch to a new color. If at that time I liked orange, then I would get an orange one. And if I liked teal, then I would get a teal phone case. Another thing that made me buy more phone cases is of course their bad quality. And when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about these silicone cases that turn out very sticky after a couple of weeks or month of use. This was a pure reason and comfort for me to get a new one each time. I ended up not buying any more cases, and if it was only from my opinion, I would not use my phone with a case since I truly love the design, but I unfortunately am way too scared to break it. It's been a couple of months now that I'm using a black leather case, and so far I am very happy with it. Number 5, hesitation is a sign. This last category can refer to all the previous ones combined together. It refers to every single product that brings hesitation when it comes to buying it. The real point of minimalism is to only have items which serve a purpose in your life. I have a mug because I drink coffee in the morning, and I have a laptop because I am a student and a content creator. Now, if I walk into a store simply looking around and I walk into a product that is very attractive to me, the simple hesitation should get me off this item straight away. And I have a perfect example in mind. A couple of days ago, I was in this store with my girlfriend, and while walking around, I walked into this coffee pour over kit. And in case you did not know yet, I am absolutely crazy about my coffee routine, and this one looked very beautiful to me. It was a mix of glass and wood, and it messed up with my mind so much that I had to spend 5 strong minutes wondering whether I wanted to get it or not. As I remembered my willingness to apply minimalism and the fact that I had a similar item at home, I immediately replaced the item back and left without it. A simple hesitation means that you do not need this item in your life, which should therefore avoid you 100% from buying it. I like to share my own vision of minimalism, which will probably be a different version than the one I will have in the next years regarding these concepts, but I also love to share the fact that each of us have their own perspective when it comes to applying minimalism. And hopefully you found something useful in what I just said, or at least that you weren't bored. Anyways, just take some notes from it and start to try things out on your own before you're applying, such as saying and being disappointed because it does not work for you. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I have been absent for the last month. I had to go through my finals at university, which means that I had way less time to make videos, but it gave me some cool ideas for the upcoming vids. So stay tuned and I'll see you in the next one.